On the last episode, Misty Reber, our Chief Academic Officer, was here and we talked about the transfer window. There's been some changes, so let's talk about that.
That's right, Elizabeth. So originally, Misty and I talked about our transfer window opening on Monday, December 9th, and due to some changes from our school board meeting that happened on December 4th, we've actually changed that date to December 17th, which is actually a Tuesday. So it's Tuesday, December 17th. And the reason for that is because our school board decided on December 4th to approve some changes for the 2025-2026 school year. And one of those included the closing of Hodges Elementary School. And the other changes they approved had some very direct options we had discussed, but Hodges had several that they wanted parent and staff feedback on. And so to give parents and staff the opportunity to provide some feedback about those choices, we have a survey we provided to them so that they can actually approve that boundary change. The school board can approve the boundary change on December 12th. And so once that's done, we'll be able to make all the changes necessary in the system to then open the transfer window on the 17th so that everything runs smoothly as people apply for transfers for next school year.
It takes a little bit of time on the back end to make some of these things happen, so that's why it happened. But there will be no impact for families, really.
That's right. It does take time. Our programmers have to actually manually build in the system with addresses around attendance boundary changes, and that takes some time. But we made changes a few years ago that the transfers are not a first come, first served basis. So as long as you get your application in during the window, which will be from December 17th all the way to January 17th, it'll even be open over the Christmas holiday for you to submit it. As long as it's in that window, you're good.
So at the school board meeting, they talked about some of the impacts on the Hodges and the Overton and the O.L. Slayton families. And Dr. Rollo talked about how those families are going to get first priority, really.
That's right. So it's complicated once you kind of get into all the little pieces. But if you use something that's really simple, for example, one that was a very direct transfer is the change of Overton Elementary School going to Rush. It's very easy to just say we're taking Overton attendance zone and making it a Rush attendance zone. So it's very straightforward. Mm-hmm. When we're looking at opportunities where we may have to split an attendance zone or we're just taking one piece of one, that's when it becomes a little more complicated. And so because of the options that we have available for Hodges, one of them, actually three different ones, it's going to take some time to make those changes in the system so that we don't have any hiccups whenever the transfer window does open.
I know you've mentioned it again already, but let's say the dates again so that families can really remember those.
Absolutely. So the transfer window opens on Tuesday, December 17th, and it closes on Friday, January 17th. You can find all the information at lubbockisd.org/transfer. We have a phone number and an email address where you can get help if you need it. And we just want to encourage families that if they're looking for an option outside of their home attendance school, that the transfer option is perfect to find the right spot for your child.
And families have a whole month to get those transfers in and really decide what they want the 2025-2026 school year to look like.
Absolutely. And if they're thinking about it and they're not sure, go ahead and put it in, because it's much more difficult after that window is closed to make changes. And so if you're already thinking about it, go ahead and submit it when the window opens, and then you don't have to worry about it in the new year.
Good. Well, thank you so much for sharing this information with everybody at home.
Of course. Thanks for the opportunity to talk about it.